If something bad happens, you drink to forget. If something good happens, you drink to celebrate. And if nothing happens, you drink so that something will happen. That's how this old drunk used to think. But believe it or not, this guy brought one of the clearest life lessons I've ever seen. And that lesson came out of nowhere, when I least expected it. I was at a party surrounded by strangers with lives and interests unlike mine. I was already on autopilot, blending in and pretending to share the crowd's plans, ideas, and thoughts. But after a while, that strangely began to bother me. I needed to get out for a bit, take a breather, recharge my batteries, so I went to take a leak. And at that moment, alone, I looked at myself in the mirror, laughing, as if asking myself, why are you still doing this? Why keep pretending to be someone you're not? Isn't it worth it to just be yourself? And if no one buys it, screw it. And while I was reflecting on the bathroom wall, a picture caught my attention. It was a painting of a bluebird among the branches. I don't know why that intrigued me so much. I was briefly fixated. In the corner of the picture, there was still a message written in English that said, "There's a bluebird in my heart." What did that mean? I had no idea. But that image got so stuck in my head that when I got home, even though I'm not really into drawing, I just started sketching in my notebook. I redid that drawing, and I started researching what that simple phrase meant. In my research, I quickly discovered this was the opening line of a famous poem by Charles Bukowski. Yes, he's the old drunk I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And there I went to read that poem. And when I finished, I felt like that painting I saw in the bathroom at the party was almost like a subliminal message from the universe for what I was feeling. And before I explain this better, let me recite this poem for you. Let's go. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too tough for him. I say stay there, I won't let anyone see you. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I drown him in whiskey, I blow all the cigarette smoke on him. And the prostitutes, the bartenders, the supermarket cashiers have no idea that he's there. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too tough for him. I say stay quiet. You want to ruin everything. You want to ruin my way of being. You want to ruin my book sales in Europe? There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too clever. I only let him out sometimes. At night, when everyone has gone to sleep, I say, I know you're there, so don't be sad. And then I put him back, and he keeps singing softly inside here. I never let him die completely. And we sleep together like this, with our silent pact. And it's beautiful, beautiful enough to make a man cry, but I don't cry, you cry. Powerful, right? And I've never really been into poems, no, but like it or not, it's undeniable that this guy knew how to write. And I don't know about you, but when I saw it for the first time, I felt something strange. A mix of feelings, like someone had put into words something I've always felt, but could never explain. The craziest part is the bluebird painting appeared for me at that exact moment during the party, because the verses of that poem had everything to do with what was going on in my head. And that's why I say pay attention to the signs, because the universe is constantly sending us messages. In this case, it was just a minor issue at the party, small and unimportant. But the message was meant for something bigger, for a conflict that in some way all of us face in this life. The conflict between who we are and who we need to pretend to be to survive. And then comes that question, right? But what is the bluebird? And what I find interesting is that Bukowski could very well have come and defined the meaning, but he didn't do that. And by not defining it, it becomes much bigger, because it can mean whatever you want. Its definition changes according to the desires, hopes, dreams, and feelings of whoever listens to this poem. The fact here is that whatever yours may be, we all have a bluebird. This is our most innocent, freer, happier, and carefree side. It's our childlike wonder, our purest feelings, a part that only wants to give and receive love. It's the part of us that doesn't seek outside approval and is self-sufficient. But as we grow up, we realize that this is the side of us that makes us vulnerable in this world. That, in fact, despite the beauty of the bluebird, It's too fragile to be left exposed out there. And that's why we silence it, we hide it. We build walls and barriers around it that grow thicker over time. And the worst part is that these layers we keep adding are considered qualities in our world. People often call it experience, maturity, responsibility, self-control, composure, seriousness, or resilience. And don't get me wrong, all these layers really do protect us from the world. If you don't want to be easy prey in social life, these traits are extremely necessary. Who here has already opened their heart to someone? I love you. They declared everything they felt, loved unconditionally, and were betrayed. It's like the world is saying, you fool, never love someone like that again. Who hasn't risked their life to pursue their childhood dream, passion, or chosen profession, ended up poor, miserable, and unrecognized? Who has never been mocked, ridiculed, or humiliated for saying or doing what they truly believed in? Poems, everybody. The laddie thinks he's a poet. It's cruel because in theory, the act of letting your bluebird out is beautiful. But in practice, the world is often there to say that its place is not here. And is Bukowski in his poem acknowledging that? He's venting against this world that made him an old, experienced man, someone too smart and tough to let his bluebird out. He knows that if he lets his bird show itself, he's screwed because his bird could ruin everything he's built. He even jokes, "Do you want to ruin my book sales in Europe?" And as ironic as it may seem, he was being serious. He understood very well that the environment he lived in didn't want to see that side of him. The world is too harsh for his bluebird. Revealing his sensitive, human, and vulnerable side would cost him prestige, status, and money. The audience wanted the sour, rebellious, pessimistic Bukowski. It was that version that made his writing so powerful. It was that version that sold. So in his mind, the bluebird became a threat, a sign of weakness capable of dismantling everything he had built. That's why he was terrified of letting that side escape. He only let the bird out when his defenses were down, when he was drunk, or late at night when no one was watching. And he makes it very clear how big that fear is at the end of the poem, when he admits that the bluebird is so beautiful, it would make any man cry. It's his most honest and vulnerable moment. But in the next line, he pulls back. He hides again, saying he doesn't cry, and even teases you, asking, "Do you cry?" It's almost an automatic defense. He opens his heart and at the same moment gets scared by his own vulnerability. And that's why he immediately strikes back at you. "Are you crazy? You think I cry?" He puts his armor back on for protection. And that's nothing more than a perfect reflection of what the world teaches us. Feeling too much is weakness. Showing your pain makes you lose respect. And a man who cries, honestly, is a wimp, okay? In our culture, those are our invisible rules. Anyone who enjoys war movies knows it's common to see scenes of soldiers hiding to cry. I really like that scene from Saving Private Ryan, when, after going through so much, the army captain goes off alone to a corner and hides in a hole just so he can cry. He needed to let out that pure feeling inside him, but he does it in the only way he can. He can't relax. Notice how he doesn't let himself cry. The tears are held back, and he keeps looking over his shoulder to see if his comrades are watching. You might think, oh, I wouldn't judge if I saw someone like that. Anyone who saw the movie knows what this captain endured. His tears prove the saying, "You don't cry from weakness, but because you've been strong too long." But in reality, he's the army captain. He can't cry there. He has this responsibility to keep everyone steady. He has to show control, and he knows that. If he cried in front of his battalion, he would lose respect, he would lose command. It's the same thing with Bukowski. Just as the captain hides to avoid showing weakness to his soldiers, Bukowski hides his bird to avoid appearing weak to the world. And what I like here is that there's no romanticizing of things. These examples break down that fantasy that letting the bird out is always beautiful and liberating. They show us that pursuing dreams, passions, and love seems beautiful on paper. In reality, it's not always that way. Don't expect life to go easy on you because you're sensitive, or society to go easier just because you opened your heart. Because the truth is, if you're not careful, it might even use that against you. Wait.
Until you see what it wants you to do.
Bukowski implies this throughout his poem. I know the price of setting my bird free, and that's why I'm too smart to let it go. And a lot of people might look at this and see it as pessimism, but I don't see it that way. I see someone who understood their role's implications and made a choice. You might think, what a miserable life. The guy can only let his bird show up when he's drunk or in the middle of the night, hiding from everyone. Honestly, I don't care about his choice. It's his life. What I admire here is your lucidity, the clarity of knowing what you're doing and why. That's what he taught me, that it doesn't matter which path I choose. What I can never lose is the awareness of my actions. Most importantly, it doesn't matter how much the world rejects me or how often society calls me worthless. I can never forget that as long as my heart is beating, there's still a bluebird inside me. It may be suffocated, locked away, buried deep in my soul. Rest assured it's still there, wanting to live. And remembering that, even on the most miserable days, is what keeps this world from swallowing me whole.
That's what stops it.